Hi, I'm Matias. I'm the founder of PRLab. Welcome to this video. We're going to talk about everything about tech PR. PRLab is one of the leading tech PR firms helping companies grow with the power of PR from all over the world. And today, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about tech PR. Let's talk about why most tech companies fail at doing PR. A lot of tech companies think that PR is something that is quite transactional and that, it's all about calling someone that you know to get your story featured in an outlet where you know someone, such as an editor or a journalist or a writer that works there. So they think that PR has this old-fashioned playbook where a good PR professional is someone that has like a very generous Rolodex or agenda full of contact details of journalists. They can just simply call and ask for a favor and that journalist is going to feature your brand. They also think that journalists must care about their stories around their products or features, and they completely disregard how important it is to build trust with those media professionals by adding value to the overarching conversation. On top of that, they measure PR as a function of marketing with like short-term results, such as leads generated or sales generated out of PR efforts, which completely undermines the essence of PR that is a long-term game, such as SEO. And the more value you add to the conversation, the better the results become and the outlets that will cover you. But a lot of tech founders completely disregard that based on the nature of their businesses that are very short-term oriented and focus on quick wins rather than long-term results. So what is unique about tech PR? Doing PR for tech companies is fundamentally different than doing PR for other types of companies, because a lot of the tech companies that we work with have long buying sales cycles and also have layers of complexity involved in the narrative that we use. Let's say that I'm doing PR for a fashion brand and I'm trying to sell trousers, jeans, pants. The narrative that I'm gonna use and the styling of that narrative is gonna be fundamentally different than of selling a product or a software, Mainly because the people that I'm speaking to have a certain knowledge and expect certain complexity in terms of the narrative that I'm gonna be using and level of expertise. So the jargon is important, the words that we use are important, knowing which the meaning of acronyms are, but also being able to translate that to the general audience, that's equally as important. Because when we do PR for tech companies, our job as PR professionals is to translate that story and make it relevant. If we take a standalone feature or product as in itself as an announcement, that is lacking of context. So our jobs as PR professionals is to make sure that we highlight that value and that level of importance in the story so that people not only care about it, but also understand it fully and ultimately will help this company achieve their goals. There's also a lot of investor relations involved in tech PR because a lot of the tech companies are relying on external capital to stay afloat. So there's a lot of investor relations involved in the work that we do, as well as community engagement. Some of the problems that PR solves for tech companies is to get investment, to support when it comes to getting investment and investor relations, because we get visibility in front of key stakeholders. Also to boost demand generation as well when it comes to supporting marketing tactics with PR narratives, building trust with the community. And this is fundamentally important for B2B tech companies that need trust in the sales buying cycle. So that's exactly what we do. Also helping companies expand into new markets and localize brands is also something that PR plays a fundamental role in. Let's talk about some core tech PR strategies. Of course, depending on your business goals, it's the strategies that you should set for your brand. A brand that is willing to increase their domain authority or show up in AI results will have a complete different PR strategy than a brand that is trying to get investment or localize the brands and expand into a new market. The strategies that we will implement are going to be fundamentally different depending on your business goals, also whether you have spokespersons that are media trained, are willing to get on the record or not, and also on whether we're going to be doing personal branding or only corporate communications. So there is a level of nuance that influences directly the strategy that we will set for you, and that is not to be discarded. Not every company should have a one-size-fits-all PR strategy, and really depending on your business goals and what you want to achieve with PR is a strategy that you should set for your brand and not the other way around. And a press release is not a strategy. That's just a way to achieve certain goals within your PR strategy. Do's and don'ts of tech PR. It's really important that people understand your story, so do make sure that your story is easy to be understood and that anybody that receives it can easily understand what you're trying to share. A lot of tech companies go really in depth in terms of jargons and acronyms, which results into the media turning down the story because they just simply don't understand what you're trying to say or share with them. Do not share information with the media under embargo or exclusively or off the record without their consent. It's really important that you get their consent before you share information that should not be disclosed. Do have a crisis management PR plan in place because you might need it in the future, and do not ever ask a journalist to share the interview draft with you before it gets published. You can always ask for a fact check, but you should never try to get involved with a narrative, and do not think that once a story is published, you can just simply call a journalist to take it down. Once it's published, it's done. So keep that in mind when it comes to preparing yourself for an interview and from preparing yourself for a Q&A, because what you shared in the interview will most probably get published and you won't have any control over that once the damage is done. So always be prepared. Know your key messages, know exactly what you can and cannot share, and what you can and cannot talk about as a brand and as a spokesperson of your brand. How do we measure PR success in tech PR? In the tech world, every single tech company will have different goals and different metrics they're gonna care about. Some of the metrics that we use in tech PR are share of voice, because we wanna make sure that we are speaking about, we're being featured by the media and talked about not only from a perspective of a brand, but also owning the narrative compared to our competitors and how much of the conversation they are owning. So share of voice is a good metric because it will benchmark your brand mentions against your competitors' brand mentions, and then it will tell you how much of the conversation you're owning. Keywords in coverage is really important, especially if you're trying to rank high in the search engine or show up in AI results. Of course, pieces of coverage, message pull through, those are all metrics that tech brands really care about, because it shows basically how successful your PR strategy is being, and not only placing stories, but also getting a positive sentiment towards your brand. But ultimately, and as I always say, it all comes down to your business goals. Your PR agency and your PR team should only report to you based on metrics that matter to you and your brand. Enough with the vanity metrics. There are plenty out there. Many of them don't really mean anything. PRLab is a global PR firm specialized in B2B tech. We have helped over 150 tech brands grow with the power of PR. We have plenty of case studies to show you. What we like to do is to first get a really good understanding of who you are and what makes you different, so that then we can create a custom-made PR proposal for you and help you achieve your goals over time. So if it sounds like a right fit, get in touch, no strings attached. We'll have a chat with you and see if we're a fit for each other, and hopefully we get to work together soon. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I see you in the next one. Bye.